Alright, welcome back to DecryptedTech. As you can see, today we have in the lab another one of our network attached storage devices. This one is from Thecus. It's their N2800 version. This one's powered by Intel's Atom. And of course we'll go ahead and flip the box around and see what you get. Thecus does have some advertising points. They have always been good in network transfer speeds. They get some really good output there. This one now actually has HDMI output support, so you can look directly at what's going on your NAS. We are going to be taking a look at this technology to see exactly what kind of output you get. You have some different storage options, all of that. Thecus has had a good history of security. They're one of the ones that kind of pushes the SSL support for connecting very quick. You have iSCSI thin provisioning support. This is something a little bit new. We've had Thecus in the lab before when we work with some of the other sites we've been associated with, and this is the first time we're seeing the iSCSI support in a product that we're reviewing. Alright, we'll go ahead and flip it around. You have some logos down here at the bottom. Of course, you can see that it does have the Intel Atom, 2 gigabytes of DDR3. It has 2 SATA ports, 1 external eSATA port, a PCIe slot, which is interesting, iSCSI support. Of course, you have your file system support listed down there at the bottom, and a few other of those badges that really come in handy. Online RAID expansion, which is nice, volume. Encryption, OS support. You have different operating systems that will support to be able to connect to it, remote applications, and of course all of the drive bays are hot swappable. Give the box a final turn, and we got kind of a little map here that shows you exactly what the Thecus can do for you, sort of where it fits into your network. And it's a nice detailed map, gives you an idea. It also shows that you have options for mobile access, such as through an iPhone, an Android phone, an iPad. This is through their Thecus Share application. You have your different file sharing options, your different stackable options, so you can go ahead and put these in with other Thecus products to expand your storage, which is sort of a nice thing. We do have an older Thecus product that we're going to see how this will integrate with that, if at all. And then of course you just have a general overview of how a network attached storage device fits into your home network or a business network for that matter. Alright, so now that we've covered the outside of the box, we're going to go ahead and open it up, take a look at the actual device itself for its aesthetics, some of its features, and as always we're going to go ahead and tear it down and show you what you get inside. Alright, so we're back. We've gotten everything out of the box, and we'll just go ahead and cover some of the items that you get with it. Of course, you're going to need a power pack. That comes in handy. You want to be able to plug this in. You have a power pack. It has a standard PC power cord, just like is used on every PC power supply. They include one in there. But if you need an extra one, you can always use one that's lying around. Inside your manual pack, it's got all of your documentation, a small little quick start poster, which is nice, giving you some information on how to get it set up. You have a warranty card. You have several different discs here. This is your Twonky Media. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but we're definitely going to take a look at it. You have your Acronis True Image, and then of course you have your driver's disc, and this also has manuals. It also has a Discover utility to let you quickly find your Thecus product on your network, even if you don't know what the IP address is due to DHCP. Alright, you also have a bag with keys, screws for mounting your hard drives, and of course a single network cable. Alright, that covers all of the accessories that you get inside the box. And then of course we actually have the drive itself. This is the network attached storage. You can see it is securely encased in some nice foam here. It's got some plastic to prevent it from being torn, scratched. The plastic could be torn. And I'll just go ahead and get this unwrapped and opened up here. Alright, now that we've got it out of its plastic wrapping, we'll go ahead and take a look at what we've got here. The device is a 2-drive NAS. Of course, it's very slim and thin. You're not going to get a whole lot there just because it's 2 drives. A lot of them are getting a little bit more expansive. You have more length than you have width, or actually more depth than you have width or height here. But that's not a bad thing. It just means that they've decided to pack most of the features into the back of the device. Of course, you do have all of your nice static covered plastic on the front here. So we'll go ahead and get some of that off so we can take a look at some of the features we've got. There is an LED screen up here that's going to give you some status. You also have an SD card slot on the front, which is nice. It'll also do the memory card. You have a copy button, which we'll talk about later, USB 3.0, and then of course you have your power button. Now we open this up. Thecus has been pretty consistent with the way that they've done their drive bays. So one of the things that we've always noticed is that they do have a lock, which is a nice feature on all of their drive bays. And they also tend to make sure that the handles here are very easy to operate. We've seen this on almost all of theirs, even going back to the 5200 Pro. Of course, the model that we have doesn't have any drives in there. We'll have to take care of that and drop some drives in. We have some 1 terabyte Samsung drives that we'll be able to use for this. And we'll just go ahead and get these out and leave them out, as we'll be tearing apart this unit here in just a few minutes. So again, we'll go ahead and peel this off. You can see your LED screen here. This is not going to be a fully functional LED. It's just got some options for power. It'll show you if your network's working, if you have something in the SD card slot, and hard drive activity as well as network activity. So that's pretty much going to cover what you've got here on the LED screen. We'll get this closed up. It does actually have a pop lock on it, so that's kind of nice. And what we're going to do is we'll strip the cover off now, and we'll take a look at what's inside after we do a quick look of what we've got on the back. So taking a look at your back options, your sort of I/O ports here, you do have a VGA option, HDMI. You have dual LAN ports that are down here. These are going to be gigabit LAN ports. Thecus also has been pretty good about always including options for teaming, including 802.11 AD support, which is going to be your link aggregation control protocol that allows these two network ports to operate in their most optimum capacity as they connect into your network. Your router or your switch that you're plugging this into does need to support that, or it's kind of useless, but it's still nice to know that Thecus does include these options even in their lower end products, you know, their smaller 2-bay network attached storage devices. Here's your external SATA port. You know, we've mentioned that as well. We do have some other things that we can plug into there to see how it operates with different products. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the cover off and take a look at what we actually have inside the unit. Alright, we've actually got the outer cover off, and you can see some of the drive bay cages here. Like we said, the reason they opted for this small form factor is you can have your slides here, and your motherboard is actually going to be on the far side. We'll go ahead and get this flipped around and show you that. You also have your connector up here. That's going to be for your LEDs that are in the top, your activity LEDs. So here you can see where the motherboard is. We'll be removing that here in just a few minutes after we get this back plate off. And you can see it is protected by a nice coating that's going to prevent any chance of shorting out this motherboard if it were to accidentally get bounced into the wall there. You can peel this off. It's just sort of stuck on, but we would highly recommend leaving it on to make sure that none of this actually does make any kind of contact with metal. That would definitely be a bad thing. So let's go ahead and get the back plane off, and we'll get a little bit more disassembled to show you how some of these parts break out. Alright, we've gotten the back plane off, and we've also removed the screws from the motherboard mounting that are here, and now we're going to take you through a little bit more of the disassembly. You have to remove the actual back plane, which is connected by a daughter board, and we'll pull that off and show you what all it's got inside of it. The screws are tightened down pretty well, so you don't have to worry about any kind of loosening. At least they're not covered in Loctite like we've seen on some other systems, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to disassemble this. So we'll go ahead and get the daughter card pulled off here. And again, unlike some of the other ones we've seen, if you take a look here, these are straight SATA. There's no option, there's no possibility to plug in any kind of an SAS drive here. This is just a straight SATA backplane. It's not a bad one, as most of these are pretty functional. You know, they're just basic parts that you plug in here. So that's got that disconnected. We've got to do remove a couple of options here. You have your front USB ports, and then you also have some other items that are connected to the motherboard that need to be removed. Oh, we have one additional screw here we have to take out before we can get the motherboard off. So let's make sure we get that out. Okay, there we go. Alright, so now we can slide the motherboard out. It actually is on a sliding tray. And we'll flip this around so you can see. Alright, you have a USB 3.0 header that's right here. You have your connector. I don't know if you can see this. You have your connector here that runs to your LEDs. And then of course you have your power switch. And there you have your motherboard that's inside your Thecus slot. This is your PCIe Express slot, and you also have a PCI Express 1X slot that's down here on the motherboard. This one's for your daughter card. That allows you to have the connectivity directly into those drives. As you can see, you've got your memory slot here. There are actually two slots, so if you wanted to expand the memory, you could. Let's go ahead and pull this one out. You can see it's developed a lot like some of your mini ITX motherboards. In fact, this would be a mini ITX form factor for the most part. And you can see you do have your dual RAM slots, so you can upgrade this quite a bit. Under here is going to be your chipset, and this is your Atom processor. We'll be showing you those in a minute after we get these heat sinks off. And then of course you just have some other options. This is going to be your firmware module. You can see you do have another port here for SATA. So that's kind of nice, although we're not exactly sure where this would be used. It's most likely, as is the case in many network attached storage devices, that this motherboard is designed to fit multiple purposes and it's used in multiple models. So you're probably going to see this in some of their higher end models, as well as in this the N2800, which isn't necessarily a low end model, but it's not also your top of the line at this point. Okay, so that covers what we've got with the motherboard. Again, like I said, we will be pulling the heat sinks off, and we'll take a look at that, the processors and everything underneath it. You can look at the front end and the cage. Again, it's a nice sturdy aluminum cage, so you don't have to worry about the vibration so much, and also the drive bays are very solid. So once you get those drives in there, this is not going to vibrate around a lot, so you should not expect a whole lot of noise from it. Your front end cards, we're not going to pull those off. They're actually protected by Torx bits on these for the USB. They're fairly well laid out. They're solid in there, so you're not going to have to worry about those breaking. All in all, it looks like it's a very well built device. It has some nice features and some options in here that are not usable in this particular chassis, but it also looks like you do have some options for upgradability and expandability. We could drop some extra memory in here to help that Atom processor handle some of the commands and some of the storage requests that happen through this device. Right, so now that we've covered all the interior, we're going to go ahead and get everything boxed back up. We'll put it up on the test bench, throw some hard drives in, and see exactly how it performs, and we'll be sure to hand you that information. As always, our testing is going to be a little bit different. We will provide you with some performance numbers, some actual raw numbers that are repeatable, that you can see and test sort of in your own environment if you were to have this. But we also provide a little bit more of the ease of use. How well does the UI work? What features are in the UI? And what kind of expandability and functionality does this product get you, and where it's going to benefit you in any kind of network, whether it's a home network or a small business network. As always, if you like this review, be sure to click on the like button, be sure to share with your friends, and subscribe to us to stay up to date with the news and reviews we have for you.